There was no minimum you had to write. There was no maximum you had to write. The only reason I put things like make sure you mention the margin of error and things like that, the differences, was to give you something to go off of. Like, a lot of students, if I say, explain to me the difference of a t-interval and a z-interval, go. It's like panic, because then it's like, where do I start? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? At least by mentioning, make sure to mention the margin of error. Because, okay, if I get into there, I can start talking about how they're different and also how they're similar. So, and I gave you the hint about the z-intervals, the proportions, and the t-intervals, the means. You can go from that too. So, I want to, we were talking about weather and cancellations and things like that. I know that you're not going to memorize every single thing in this class, and 3 weeks after it's over, you're going to forget most of the techniques, the technical parts of the class. That's just a fact of education. In 10 weeks, I can't impress anything on your mind with a severe amount of detail permanently. Let's just all admit that right now. I think we all know that. I mean, think about any class you've been in, 3 weeks after it's over, unless you take a successive class course 3 or 4 years after that, you're going to forget stuff. It's going to go away. But you're going to take you're going to take a few things away from this class. What I've done is I've put those into context in repeated small detailed ways. Things like a margin of error, which we keep seeing and we're going to keep seeing today. We're going to keep seeing next week and the week after and the week after. Yeah, the language changes. It goes to these things called hypothesis tests. But the idea still is the fact that you're collecting a statistic and you're estimating something based on it. And you have to put the wings on it to do the estimate. If you walk out of here 5 weeks from now and that's the only thing you remember, I'm stoked. If you remember that plus what a p-value is, which we're in the middle of learning about right now, I'm uber stoked. Anything else? Icing, gravy, depending on your preference for dessert or dinner. I mean, honestly, let's all be realistic about education. I mean, I think academics often think that if I say something, it's then in your mind forever. That's asinine. That's completely asinine. It's ridiculous. It's like saying if you watch somebody ride a bike down a road, then they become an expert at riding a bike. It's ridiculous. The only way you become an expert at anything is by spending thousands and thousands of hours doing it. My job is to funnel hundreds of hours, if that I have you guys for, maybe hundreds of hours, into meaningful types of assessments. And in my opinion, meaningful assessments are the ones that push outside your comfort zone a little bit, make you think a little bit, and write a little bit. So if you were a little uncomfortable doing an assessment, good. Not because I'm a bastard, but because you just created new synapses in your brain and made connections you've never made before. Cool? So if you feel uncomfortable, you did it right. Good. So don't panic. Relax, my friends. Relax as well. In fact,
I got it. It's all under control.
And you got a staple up there if you need it. All right. So I wanted to put some minds at ease. I put some